Good afternoon, my fellow traders and investors. Okay, so today I wanted to talk real quickly about what this S&P 500 is doing, what that means for the stock markets, and also I wanted to do a little Bitcoin analysis. Some of you know, those of you who follow me, that I posted this chart a few minutes ago indicating that we were breaking out, and I posted it with the caption that this is day one of the blow-off top that I have seemingly been speaking about incessantly for many moons now. I do believe that this is actually occurring, and I do believe that this very well could be day one of that blow off top. So a few of my traders in the paid subscriber Telegram forum have asked me some questions about this. Number one, how long is this blow-off top going to last? Can we expect to beat previous highs? Where do we enter or / re-enter if we're looking to make some trades on this trend, this new trend, this move? So we're going to talk about those three things specifically in regards to crypto, but this is good for any sort of trading strategy. We'll start here with the US 500 and talk about what I am seeing here on this chart. The chart that I posted has a macro uptrend line and a macro downtrend line. First of all, the macro downtrend line, you can see we started this in November of 2021. That was our high, all right? And ever since then, we have tagged this resistance line 4, 5, 6 times and finally now have broken through it. Then we have this macro uptrend line that comes from all the way back from March of 2020. All right, so right now, and the last video I did, I circled this area, right? Let me get my tools out here. This area right here where they were intersecting, I said that is going to provide a tremendous amount of resistance, that whole area of confluence. I expect us to go back down. And sure enough, the next day we started to head back down, hit our support at 3,900. And that was when the bulls were able to gather enough of a bounce and enough steam to break us through this macro downtrend line, which we have done battle with, and currently what we are doing battle with is the macro uptrend line. So earlier today when I made this static post, we actually were above. We had wicked above, and we were above the macro uptrend line. And that tells me that the bulls are very anxious, very anticipatory, and aggressive in this move. And I really think that this is going to pan out to be the beginning of that blow-off top that I have been talking about. Now let's talk about where, or from a technical perspective, how I am seeing this blow-off top, where I'm getting this from, and where I think we will go. All right, so I'm going to move this chart down a little bit, zoom out here. Let's see, move it back up because I want to get these bottoms here, and I'm going to get out my Elliott wave here, and I'm just going to draw real quickly the start of wave number 1. That went all the way from December of 2018 to February of 2020. All right, then we had COVID. That brought us wave 2 all the way down to March of 2020. Wave number 3 tends to be longer and more extended than it was. That hit us to our top in November of 21 at around 4,800. Then we bottom, wave number 4, we bottomed out here around the 200-day or 3,500 on the US 500. And currently we are making this 5th wave, which is somewhere in between the length of wave number 1 and wave number 3. I personally think that takes us to at least a price of 5,000 on the S&P. I'm going to put her right there, but we could go anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 before this next move up is complete. All right. Then what happens about that after that? Well, that's not the point of this video. my view is very pessimistic after that point, and I hope to have that view changed for me as we proceed. But as of now, it doesn't look very pretty for the U.S. stock market, for the global markets, actually, just in general. But until that time, let's take advantage. Let's not talk about that. Let's just take advantage of this move up that we are seeing. All right, so question number one, how long is this blow-off top projected? Well, I don't expect us to top out till at least it's at the earliest, it's going to be mid 2024. But this move could go all the way late into fall. It could last 11, 12 months. If we look at previous historical data, that blow-off top did take about 12 months after, and I refer to my housing crisis chart. We had the housing market started to falter. The Fed continued to raise rates. 2 months after, they realized the housing market was in serious trouble. They paused. They paused for a full 12 months, and we're seeing exactly the same pattern take place this time around so far. The housing market has definitely crashed. We're 3 months into what I believe is a housing market crash. The Fed is still raising rates and probably will raise rates at least one more time, maybe two more times before they pause. And what was the market doing during this last housing market crash? While the Fed was raising rates, the market was still going up, and it took a full 12 months before it topped out. I believe that's the same way it's going to play out this time around. So we're looking at about 11, 12 months before we top out. That is our blow-off top. All right, so that is the timeline, and that is also the target that I am aiming for in this longer term trend. All right, so now the question is, how do I play this? Where do I enter, or where do I re-enter if I have entered and played a little bit of this bull run and now I'm out and I'm looking to re-enter? So I mean, if you guys have followed me in the past, the way I trade in bull markets is I wait for us to come down to a significant level of support before I enter any trade. All right. So we have just seen a huge bull breakout, essentially, of this macro downtrend line. Possibly in the next day or two, we will break even that macro uptrend line. I mean, that is a very real possibility. Now, we don't have to confirm, to confirm the breakout. We really only had to break above this macro downtrend line. And now the next thing I want to see on, tomorrow, what I want to see is our candle opening here and closing somewhere above this macro downtrend. That is our confirmation candle, and that's all I need to see to show us that we are, in fact, breaking out and going to continue to move higher. But even better would be to see a candle breaking. We're currently fighting with this macro uptrend line. If the bears can fight that and beat that, that's even more of a sign that we are going to move, and we're going to move quickly to the upside. All right. So to play these type of moves, you really want to see us come back down to a significant level of support. That could be this macro uptrend line. That could be this macro downtrend line. That could be this 200-day moving average coming over here and intersecting in that area. But at some point in the future, I would like us, and it's technically healthy to see us come back down, and probability suggests we will do that, and do a retest of this macro downtrend line, which was significant resistance for so long. So we want to test that now as support before we continue our move up into wave number 5. So if you're looking to enter, be patient, watch this RSI. Don't let it get too out of hand in terms of being overbought. I like to make sure that the RSI is at a reasonable level. It's suggesting it's not in greatly overbought territory. Even if you want the price and the trends that you're seeing in the upper chart to match the RSI being at a reasonable level. In other words, even if we came down to support, but if we were in very overbought territory, I still would have a hard time entering. I don't ever like entering in overbought territory on the RSI daily. All right. I want to see us come back down to a reasonable level. So if we come back down and we're in this area here, then that's reasonable. That's a good entry place. All right. But this is for the S&P 500. I want to get into doing a little Bitcoin analysis as well, and we will talk about good entry / re-entry areas for Bitcoin. So let's just jump over to that chart. Let's see, I'm 11 minutes into this video. All right, so previously I had this cup and handle pattern drawn as such. All right, and I was thinking, you guys all knew that we would come back down and test this whole area of confluence down here. So what is this area of confluence? Well, this is the 200-day moving average intersecting with this purple trend line here, which I don't have marked currently, but this comes all the way from December of 2020, which is also intersecting with this June of 2022 ascending trend line, making it a perfect area of confluence, which acted as big resistance, but the bulls seemed to just move right through that. Maybe it was the bulls, maybe it was actually the bears exiting their short positions in a rapid manner. Actually, I do believe that's more along the lines of what we were looking at with this move up. All right, so now what I'm looking for is for us to come back down for an entry. We have been in this overbought status since really the 10th of January. All right, so it is now what's today, the 23rd. So we've been up here in overbought territory for over 2 weeks. Now this can happen. It's very infrequent that this happens, but when it does, this is where those with FOMO get caught. All right, you got to be patient on this, guys. This is the daily chart. You've got to be patient and let the RSI come back down to a reasonable level. When I say reasonable, I'm talking anywhere from 50 to 60 if possible. But you really, 70 would be, if you're more aggressive, you could let it touch 70. What you're really looking for is that in correlation with price action. So you want to see the prices come back down to test our previous area of big resistance, which is this whole area of confluence right around 19,500. And if you're not going to be patient and wait for that, well, I can suggest some more aggressive trades for you, but I definitely am not one of those that would get into trades anywhere here with the RSI being in this overbought territory. All right, I'm trying to get rid of this little mark here. All right, so one thing I do have noted here. Now let's fix this handle because that's not what happened. All right, so I was projecting what might happen with this cup and handle pattern. What actually happened is this, showing you how fast and furious these bulls moved, or maybe how fast and furious, I should say, the bears exited their short positions. This broke the neckline. So does that invalidate the cup and handle pattern? No, it just makes the handle a lot smaller from a technical perspective than it should be. But that doesn't mean this cup and handle pattern won't play out. In fact, I expect it will play out. And the target here I have at 27,000. Now let's just zoom out here a little bit and see if that makes reasonable sense. All right, so if I really zoom out here, I'm not seeing a lot at 27,000. What I do see a lot of trading done at, and the price levels I see that trading done at, is anywhere from 28,000 to 30,000. So I would say that this cup and handle pattern has a target that is underpriced. 27,000, somewhere around here. All right, so I mean, we have two candles, one that closed and another opened. We have a wick down here at 25 or 20, yeah, 25.5. But those don't really make much sense in terms of the target of this cup and handle pattern. I'm thinking that the target here should be anywhere from 28 to 30,000, where all of this trading was done. Look at all the volume too. Look at the volume on these trades. All right, a lot of volume was traded. A lot of people bought and sold in that area, and that is the price that I would target for this cup and handle pattern. So if you are a more aggressive trader, you can see that we have broken this neckline and we are headed to that 28 to 30,000 target. The question really becomes, are we going to come back down and test that area of confluence before we hit that target? Or are we going to hit the target of 28 to 30,000 and then come back down and test previous resistance, which now becomes support, mainly that 200-day moving average? And that's unknown at this point. That's unknown. For me, I'm going to remain patient. I really, really want to see this RSI come back down into reasonable zone before I enter any trades. But again, if you are more aggressive, we do have this bull flag here, and that looks like it's going to take us up onto this resistance at 24,200. All right. It's not something I would throw a lot of money at. It's not something I would be real aggressive with. It's something that I might enter a small trade. Again, this bull flag could fail. Could easily fail. In fact, you guys know that when I entered over here, we had a bull flag. Let me just draw over here a bull flag. All right. So this was my last trade. My last entry actually into Bitcoin was a price of 20,360, and Ethereum I entered at 1,582, and Ripple was a third long. I took at 48 cents. All three of those trades I had to hold all the way through this FTX collapse, this fiasco here, which brought us down to 15,700. All right, so I have been holding those all along for many months here, and we have finally broken out and exceeded the price, my entry price. I am well in the profit here. I'm not really looking to get out of that trade until we reach our target of 28 to 30,000. But my point in bringing this up is we were starting to form another bull flag over here. See this? And I was actually even recommending traders get in, and that bull flag failed. So these small bull flags here, these small bull flags can definitely fail. And I'd be very cautious at going heavy into any trade. But we want to use Bitcoin as our index basically for the crypto space. So if you're looking at altcoins, etc., follow what the big dog is doing, what the big dog is telling us. The big dog is currently very hot, and it's telling us it's going to go higher. Looks like it's going to at least reach that 24,200 before maybe that RSI settles back down into a reasonable zone, and maybe we come back down and retest previous resistance, now support. That's what we're looking at. That's how we're looking to trade this. And that's what I wanted to show you guys today for this video. Hopefully that helps. And if it does, please give me a like, comment, ask any questions you will. I read all my comments. I read all the questions and I try to answer them all. And subscribing also definitely helps this channel. It helps me to know that I'm doing well with the production of content that you guys desire. All right, until the next video, peace, y'all.